I'm Iris and I am a postdoc and I definitely don't have time to make YouTube videos, but here we are, 1 year into making YouTube videos, so today we're gonna do a Q&A. First question is by Lisbeth. Hi Lisbeth. I would like to know more about Venus, but because I know so little, I cannot pose a more specific question. Have you already addressed why this is your favorite planet? Well, there are these things called terrestrial or rocky planets, and there are 4 in our solar system. You have Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And depending on who you talk to, the moon is also included. And these planets are kind of the same because they're all very rocky. They consist mostly of rocks. And obviously the Earth is very interesting. My background is in like plate tectonics and geophysics, so how does the interior of the Earth move really? So I really like big scale questions on how the dynamics of the inner planets go really. That's my thing. So the Earth is very fascinating because you have plate tectonics here. Then you have the dead bodies. Mars, Mercury and the Moon. They are very old, maybe they were active at some point in the past, but at the moment they are very dead, probably. There's definitely, probably, most likely not something like plate tectonics on there. And then there is Venus, who is a bit of an enigma because we are not entirely sure. There are indications that Venus might be tectonically active, so that means there might be some kind of plates moving, there might be some kind of active deformation still going on, there might be some Venus quakes, there might be some volcanism, but we don't know because, there is not much data about Venus. So basically, the way I think about it is that it's a planet shrouded in mystery. Anything is possible. There's so much to discover because we really know not that much about it. I mean, for Mars, we have had lots of missions. People are very excited about life, but I'm not very excited about life in general. So, as in like organic biological life, I'm excited about the prospect of living. So Mars is interesting to lots of people because of that, but I like the large-scale dynamics of rocks, basically. And on Earth, we know more or less how it works in the broad strokes, really. We've answered most of the main questions, or at least we think we have at the moment. But Venus really is a complete mystery, and that appeals to me because I like to solve that mystery. So that is why Venus is my favorite planet, because it's a mystery. Okay, next question is by Leia. Hello, Leia. And she asks, if you were to go back to Alpbach 2014 with just one thing that you've learned about Venus since you started your new postdoc, what would you tell your team? This is a good question. So for context, Leia and I met in 2014 at a summer school, which was about designing space missions to go to the terrestrial planets, so the rocky planets, of which Venus obviously is one. And we chose Venus, and that's how I got excited about Venus, and I learned about the mystery of Venus. What would I tell them about Venus that I know now? Probably one thing that we didn't focus on then, but I might have known if I had paid attention. But one thing that I'm more excited about now is the fact that there could be subduction on Venus. So subduction is when one plate dives below the other plate, really. And that is kind of my favorite dynamic process on the Earth. So I'd be very happy if it also occurs on Venus. And there are some instances where it has been proposed, where people have been looking at images of the surface and thinking, that could be subduction. So I would say, look guys, it's interesting, maybe look at subduction. And also people have been looking at coronae more frequently, which are these very specific features at the surface of Venus, which are kind of a round shape. And we don't see them anywhere else in the solar system, or, like anywhere. It's not on Earth, not on other planets. So they're, again, a mystery. The cool thing about corona is that they have been proposed to have something to do with mantle plumes and then have subduction at the edges of the mantle plume. And that's why they're round. That's the idea. And some of them, recent modeling papers have been suggested might be active or still forming. So I would say focus on the corona maybe. It's a bit sad it's called corona, but this is a corona I can get behind. Next question question is by Ishan. Thank you very much for sending in a question. What is the hardest part of being a postdoc YouTuber? Time management. At the best of times, I suck at time management, and now with trying to upload weekly, it's very difficult. I mean, it's not like I'm filming this on a Sunday morning hoping that I will have it finished by 2 o'clock, which is my upload time. You know, I'm also kind of having my parents visiting and sorting out my house because it's still not great. So yeah, time management. Definitely time management. I suck at time management. Then the next question is by PAGeoph. Hello. She asks, who helped you to move to Berlin? That would be you, wouldn't it? Yeah, that was my sister and my mom, and now also my dad. You know, family, because it's very difficult to move country. Thank you for helping me move house. Then another question from Lisbeth. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to seeing or visiting in Berlin? No. I went to Berlin because like it's a cool institute and it meant I could work on Venus, and I haven't thought at all about Berlin as a city or Germany as a country. I have no affinity with Berlin. I have no affinity with Germany really. So no, not really. When I went to Switzerland, I had grand plans, didn't come true, terrible experience. When I went to the UK, I had even bigger plans because I was adamant that I would make something of my abroad adventure. But, you know, pandemic, so that didn't really happen. So now I'm just going into it with like no plan at all. And whatever happens, happens, and I'll be happy. And yeah, that's it. There's an English bookshop that I'd like to go to because I like books and I like buying books. There's also a lot of musea, and I particularly like natural history musea, and there is apparently a big one very close to where my friend lives as well. So I'd like to go to that museum. That's really all I can give you. I don't know anything about Berlin. And then lastly, we have a lot of questions by Michael. Hi, Michael. Thank you for asking questions. How long is your contract in Berlin? It's 2 years. But technically I started working, I started working in Berlin from September 2020. 2020? Oh my god, it's 2022. I started working in Berlin, for the Institute in September 2021. Yes, so my contract runs until the end of August 2023. I only moved to Berlin in January, so I'll have 1.5 years, a bit more of living here, maybe longer because my tenancy is longer. But yeah, 2 years of postdoc money. Then the second is, how do you find German culture? Is this supposed to expose me? If we're going into the stereotypes, I am not really fond of beer, so Oktoberfest-like things, which I heard a lot about when I was in Munich. I also worked a lot in Munich during my PhD. That's not really my thing. I also heard they are quite into board games, so hoping that's true, because then maybe I can build a social life here. German culture. What else do I know about German culture? And what do I like about it? Oktoberfest, beer, no particular stance on lederhosen. Bratwurst is nice. I think that sums up the stereotypes. Are you going to run some simulations for Venus? Yes, my job is to run computer models on Venus, so I will be doing that. If not, I will fail terribly at my job. So yes, and I'm using the Gaia code, which is an in-house code that we use at DLR apparently. Oh, every time I switch jobs, I switch codes, which is not something recommended generally, so that's not the best career advice. Don't switch codes, kids. And if you do, be sure to work on a topic that you like. That was it. My first Q&A. 1 year on YouTube. Time flies in a pandemic, doesn't it? And I'm very happy that you all are coming along for the ride. You are really, really appreciated. I will see you soon. Bye! I don't know if I will be strictly uploading every week from now on, because uploading every week was kind of my New Year's resolution of 2021, because I wanted to force myself to be creative and do something, and I still have lots of ideas and lots of things pre-filmed, but I'm finding it difficult to combine everything. So every once in a while it might happen in the next year that I miss a week, but I will try my best not to.